Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
Funny.
It's not a live broadcast. We're good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not.
It shouldn't be too awkward.
Yeah, I hope not. It feels like our first date a little bit, though, getting the line of
At
questioning.
Warehouse.
At Warehouse.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Minding Her Business. This is actually the very first episode of Minding His Business. Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Taylor.
How are you?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
For those of you who don't know, Christopher is my boyfriend. We actually just celebrated our 3-year anniversary, and I thought it was only fitting to bring him on for the Valentine's Day special.
Glad I got the invite back for another Valentine's Day with you.
Okay, so for those who don't know you, can you kind of tell them a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. Well, I do a few different things right now. It's still currently in school at Toronto Metropolitan University, formerly
That's a
Ryerson.
mouthful.
It's a mouthful. A little easier when it was Ryerson when
Yeah.
you were there.
Yeah.
So yeah, studying business there right now in my 4th year, majoring in entrepreneurship and also playing varsity hockey there.
He's the captain.
Yeah.
I know you won't say it yourself, so I'll say it for you.
Yeah, 2nd year as the captain, which has been a huge honor for me. And then at the same time, running a business in the Kitchener-Waterloo region. It's a hockey school. Running it with Danny Campbell, who's like another brother to me. And we've been at that for, 5-6 years now. So doing multiple things at once here.
Okay, to start off, let's tell everyone what Prolific is.
For sure.
And kind of, can you tell us like the journey of like how you started that with Danny?
Yeah, for sure. So, Prolific we're basically offering a comprehensive hockey training program, locally in the Kitchener-Waterloo region. We do have players from sort of those surrounding areas that work with us, but primarily we do, hockey camps in the summer. We do them over the winter break and March break. We do training sessions, private groups, team training, working with some different organizations around the region. This year, we started working with Waterloo Minor Hockey, which was awesome for us, and has been really good so far. And we're very excited to continue to work with them. And the way it started is I was in junior hockey playing in the OHL with the Windsor Spitfires, and Danny texted me during the winter and was like, "Hey man, like I got this idea to run a summer camp."
Danny and Chris have been neighbors
Yeah.
for your whole lives. both
Yeah,
of you?
yeah, essentially since I was 2 years old. So
Yeah.
that's when I say he's like another brother to
Yeah.
me. We grew up together. He's always been a role model to me, so it was cool when he had that idea and he texted me right away. I was like, yeah, I'm in. COVID hit, so my hockey season ended. Spent a little time off, just kind of enjoying having a little bit of freedom. Obviously, it was lockdown, so there wasn't much you could do.
Not much freedom.
Yeah, but we weren't sure what the summer was gonna look like, so we were like, in case this camp happens, like we better start posting some Instagram videos and at least getting ourselves our name out there in the community. So, we got on the street in front of both of our houses and we were doing some at-home drills and challenges, and it's pretty funny to look back at now, but that's where it started. And I was working in a factory at the time because the season got shut down, and Danny actually had set up a rollerblading skills training group. A family had reached out to him and gathered some kids from Kitchener, and we did that. And at the end of that session, he handed me a $50 bill. They paid us $100 to do it for an hour and a half or whatever it was, and I was like, $50? Like, I'm working in a factory right now, hating my life for 8 hours a day and making like 120, 110, whatever it was I was coming home with. So he's like, man, like we can keep doing this, and if you want to be, do it with me, like we'll go 50-50 at this thing. And we continue to post on Instagram and continue to make connections with other families in the community, and it truly just snowballed from there. So it wasn't it was just supposed to be a 1 week of summer camp that we kind of did every year. It was a way for us to make a little bit extra change and also give the players in our town a cool experience. But as things progressed, we realized that there's a big opportunity to provide a lot of value for the hockey players in town, and yeah, here we are today.
Well, even from when we've been together, which is just over 3 years, technically been in each other's lives, um, it's grown so much. It was like it's been incredible to see. When did you realize that you were like, okay, this is like a legit thing? Like we need to make a website. We need to like actually start doing this.
Well, the website thing is funny because we started running some weekly sessions, and we were having to track a lot of people down for payment, and we said there must be a better way. And then one of the kids that we trained, his dad built Shopify websites. So we got connected with him, and he's like, "Yeah, you guys can do this all online. Actually, you don't have to do things the old-fashioned way." So that's kind of that's kind of when the website thing happened. And to be honest, I don't really know. It's tough to pinpoint a time when it was a little bit more certain that this is like, an opportunity for a career. It truly just happened naturally, and a lot of things lined up with, COVID was obviously such a tough time for people. Um, but now it really gave me this outlook on life where even these challenging times, there's always opportunities that are around us. And we took that opportunity of, me having a break from playing hockey and being at home. And yeah, we just ran with it. So it's tough to say exactly when. Maybe after our first summer camp, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was a big success. A lot of great feedback. A lot of people wanting to do it again next year. And then when we released the one for the following summer, again, just planned on doing one, and it sold out in like 10 minutes, and we were like, oh wow, like we need to do another one. Um, so we got another week, and then yeah, like I said, it's just been a natural kind of progression, and building out our team and making sure we have the right people in place and can deliver a quality service.
So you started with the one,
Hmm.
and then I went to two, and then I know you're at three now, and
Yeah,
then just
yeah. So three last year, might have been 2 years in a row now with three.
yeah.
Um, Planning for four this year and potentially a fifth. And yeah, tons of other programs and exciting stuff going on. So, really trying to meet the demands of the market in town. And, we want everybody to be able to experience our camps and what we have to offer. We don't want to leave anybody out. So, whatever we're able to do, as much as we're able to do, like we're going to do it.
So you have all those things that you do with Prolific,
Yeah.
plus school,
Plus a girlfriend.
plus me. I'm a lot of work. So how do you handle it all?
Yeah, that's something I've been asked before, and it is challenging. You wear a lot of different hats, and it's difficult at times. I think number one is having a good support system. It's impossible without that, and um, having you, for example, helping us out with the socials and the website, like things that I was doing before, frees up so much time for me to be able to accomplish those other things. Like I wouldn't be able to do it without, people like you, people like Danny, people like our other coaches that support while I'm gone. That's number one. I think you got to be very diligent with your time. You know, at the end of the day, you just kind of put your head down and do it.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to get done, you kind of know what the deadlines are, whether it's with school. Hockey's easy because it's a schedule. You're practicing at this time, your games are at that time. It's non-negotiable, so you know when you're going to be there. And then those other hours in the day, you got to allocate between school and the business and making sure that you're getting stuff done. And it's a grind, but you know what? It's I'd rather be doing that than playing video games or something like
Yeah.
that. So.
Do you find that sometimes certain areas not lack, but you have to sacrifice certain things and
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cliche, but it's the old saying that if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Um, there's certain times where I know I'm falling behind in school because things are busy with hockey and with work. And there's other times where there's things I would like to be doing for the business, but I have exams or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It gets busy that way. So, and as things have grown, social life, like I still spend a ton of time with my teammates, and I'm very fortunate that we get to see each other every day. But compared to my first year being at school, like you don't have the same amount of hours
Yeah.
to just hang out with your friends or whatever it may be, and those are the sacrifices that you have to make. But if you want to achieve something and you want to grow a serious business, it's just part of the way it goes.
Your mom's not gonna like this question when she or when she listens to this. But do you think it's kind of tough when, the business is doing so well, it's growing, and then you love playing hockey, obviously, and like I'm making assumptions here, but ideally if you could pick, those would probably be your first two priorities over school. But, you're in hockey because of school and all those things. Do you find it hard to sacrifice other things for school to prioritize it?
Um, I mean, there's times in university it's interesting, and you know how it goes. Like, there's some courses that you love and
Yeah.
you can really see the benefit in, and there's some courses that are mandatory to take, and you're like, let's just get the grade and get out of here. Um, but no, I like, and we've talked about this before, but I found like a ton of benefit being in business, majoring in entrepreneurship, and also growing a business at the same time. I'm super fortunate that basically every day when I go to school, there's things that I can take from the classroom and immediately implement into my business. And when you talk to other students, I think that's a challenge for a lot of students because they, who are those students who aren't in that position, like they have a harder time seeing the value in what you're learning because it's less applicable. Um, so yeah, no, like I enjoy school. It'll be nice to be done and to graduate and to be able to use those hours towards some other things. And but yeah, no, I think there's a lot of benefit. And I actually had one professor. His name's Dave. He's awesome, Dr. Dave we call him.
If
But
you're
he
listening, Dr. Dave.
maybe I'll send him the clip. But no, he brought up a great point. He talked about Steve Jobs when he created the Mac. So Steve Jobs had to take an elective in university, and he took like, I believe it was like a Latin like typography class or something like that, and he learned like the aesthetic of typography, and then he brought that into the computers. He's like, why is like when you typed on those old computers, like it looked awful, right?
Yeah.
It's just very
The spacing.
yeah, spacing was off. And so Steve Jobs, when he created the Mac, was like, we're going to make this beautiful so graphic designers want to use it. And so that's something that I've tried to apply. It's like, no matter what you're doing, who you're speaking with, a class you're in, wherever you're at, there's always value in something, even if it doesn't directly relate to what you're doing. You can pull things, from these other voices and this other knowledge that you can bring into what you're doing. And I think that was, like we talked about university and the value of it, like a lot of those lessons are where I really have learned the value of attending university.
Well, I applaud you. I've learned so many things. I wish that we had been utilizing what the school actually has to offer. I wish I did it more. I kind of started realizing in my fourth year, like the value it could bring aside from just going to and from class and
Yeah.
doing your assignments. You utilize your professors, you have conversations with them outside of class, and they like help you with your business or other things. And I think that's an incredible message that there's so many resources around us that people don't even know about in university.
Yeah, totally. And I can't speak for other programs because I don't know how it is. Like, we're fortunate in our program, in the entrepreneurship program at TMU, that it is somewhat smaller class sizes, and a lot of the professors do have real life experience doing what we're trying to do. And they really want us to succeed. Like they want so bad for people to use the resources, for people to use their knowledge and come talk with them. And it took me a while to truly understand that and get out of my shell and like email a prof like, hey, can we set up a Zoom call or have a chat or visit you in office hours? But they've been through a lot more. So I can only speak for our program. And we have some wonderful professors that I've really been able to lean on. And I think if you have access to these resources, like use them. And I think I've encouraged a lot of when we're doing group work and stuff like that and talking about these things, like a lot of students will like talk about the profs, but they don't talk to them. It's like go talk to them, and the worst thing that's going to happen is you say, I disagree and I'm not going to use your knowledge. Like I've got a ton of advice and very valuable, valuable advice that I've been able to apply to my stuff.
You've also been able to use Prolific as like examples to work on in group projects. Has that actually been beneficial?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we for a lot of my projects, I end up using Prolific. It might end up when it's in the group setting, putting a little bit extra on my plate
Yeah.
because I become the main contact for the project. But no, like it's been very beneficial and like again, we talk about like applying things. Like it's easy to learn something and apply it to a hypothetical business or whatever. But when you're able to take what they're teaching you in the classroom and dive into your business and learn more about your business, because it's crazy. Like even up until this year, it's like I didn't really know our business, like the ins and outs of it. So it really gets your wheels turning and makes you think deeper about what you're doing. I think it helps clarify your plan, because you need a plan. Like you need to know the direction you're going in and how you're going to be able to, reach your goals and grow a business and succeed. And, I don't want to say like we're at the top of that right now. Like we're still, very early on, but, yeah, we're learning and we're doing our best to grow.
So I've just been thinking about the question I'm going to ask next, and my eyes are already watering. So let's see if I
Oh
can get
boy.
this. It's
Um,
not even have anything to do with me.
okay.
Okay, so when we first started talking, dating, I had already mapped out the next couple of years, and you were gonna go pro, I was gonna go
Yeah.
with you to Europe and all those things and travel. Since then,
That'd be nice. No,
not
that was
necessarily
no,
travel.
that was the plan. You're right.
Yeah.
100%.
So obviously, lots of things have changed for the both of us in
Mhm.
great ways, in our businesses and our lives and stuff like that. But now this is your last year of playing, at least at this level of where you're going, and you're not good. That's not the plan anymore. I'm really sorry, Johnny, if you're listening to this right now. How does that make you feel? You've been playing hockey your whole life.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's obviously tough in some aspects because yeah, I have been doing it my whole life. What makes it a lot easier is I have something that I'm working towards outside of just playing now. Um, and a lot of the things that kind of give me that kick from playing, I'm able to still get that from coaching and running a business and doing those things. I've been so fortunate at TMU from the teammates I've had, from the coaches I've had, the success that we had as a group. And mind you, like we're still playing right now, and I think we're able to achieve a lot this year too. But yeah, I feel pretty at peace with it. Like I think after we give this a good run this year, I'll kind of know that I've left it all out there. The last few years have been it's been awesome. It's been so amazing. Some of the best years of my life, but it's also been super challenging, like we talked about with how busy it is. So I'm excited to be able to put my energy into one place and to see where we can go with that. Because Danny's put in a ton of work, I've put in a ton of work, but we have sort of had our energy in multiple places. So I'm excited to just be able to focus on one thing and see what we can do.
Well, we'll see because you have your hands in a couple different pots right now. So we'll see if you only have one thing to focus on.
Yes, but they are all related.
Yeah.
And I think just naturally I always find a way to keep myself busy.
Always.
There's no downtime.
No.
So yeah, it's been so awesome, but it's the next chapter coming and I truly am really excited for it.
Me too. Okay, so kind of to trickle onto that is I kind of want to walk through your journey from like the beginning.
Mhm.
We'll start, no, let's go as early as Pee-wee, or is that a thing? Is Pee-wee a thing for you guys?
Pee Wee, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
when
know.
you're like 12.
Yeah, so we don't have to go as early as that, but like OHL, and I feel like something I've learned from you, I've learned so much about the hockey world. I knew next to nothing basically
Little
walking into
hockey
this.
girl now.
Yeah, apparently I knew nothing walking into this. I thought it was OHL, NHL, that's it. There's like 100 different leagues that
Yeah.
you can go into, so
Yeah.
that's already a piece of information I never knew. But you were in the OHL, and I mean this with the most sincerity. I just want to talk about it because there's other people that this happens to, and there's only how many people in the NHL?
Oh, now you're asking the tough questions. Jeez.
Not that many.
Yeah, not, it's a less than 1% of the players that play.
Yeah, so
0.001. I don't know what the number is, but yeah, it's tough to get there for
yeah,
sure.
so obviously it happens to so many people, and it's just how did you handle that? Because I'm sure every child's dream as a hockey player is I'm going to make the NHL and all that stuff, and I feel like you've taken your experiences and just ran with it and done incredible things. But how did that feel emotionally?
Yeah, it's tough because, you know, there's your draft year. So when you're 18, you're up for your draft. I didn't get drafted to the NHL. That's always a tough day. I mean, for me, I wasn't expecting to, so it wasn't so bad. But there's obviously some guys that are projected to get drafted and don't. And that's a tough pill to swallow. But, the dream doesn't end there. You still have 3 more years of playing in the OHL to go, get better, improve yourself to these NHL teams. Um, for my OHL career, like I was never a top 6 forward, like playing first line, second line. Like I knew what kind of player I was. I worked hard to continue to get better. I would say it's tough to pinpoint like when the moment is that, the NHL dream is over.
Yeah.
But I think what's beautiful about hockey is there's so many opportunities, outside of playing in the NHL. Like I think when you're in the OHL, like going to play university hockey in Canada, you're like, oh, like I don't want to end up there.
Yeah.
But when you do, like these years have been the best years of hockey of my life. And it's an amazing experience. It's great hockey. It's a great lifestyle. You're with your teammates all the time. You're getting an education. It's awesome. And then, being able to start my sort of venture into the coaching career at the same time, I think, you just kind of roll with it. And it's a different situation for everybody, but there's just so many opportunities to stay in the game. And you look at a player like me now, like I'm finishing my university career, but like hockey doesn't end here. Like I can continue coaching, and stay in the game that way. There's so many different ways that you can stay in the game. And that's why for me, when I'm running a hockey school and working with young kids and talking to parents, the biggest thing that we can do is build a passion for the game. Because if you're just drilling these kids into the ground and they don't truly love it, then it doesn't matter because, listen, like there are going to be players that make the NHL for sure. A lot of them won't. So if we can instill that passion for them, they're going to want to stay in the game and, like myself, find other ways to contribute and make this a career for themselves. So yeah, that's a huge part of what I'm trying to do is just, yes, we want kids to get better and we want to develop them on the ice, but, a lot of it is off the ice and building, good people who love hockey. And to me, that's going to be a more successful career than, just working on their game so much where they don't even love it anymore. Anyway.
So, Keith has informed us that there are currently 736 players in the NHL.
Yeah.
So, there's a heck of a lot more hockey players in the world.
There sure are.
So,
And the
that's a
sport's
very-
growing too globally,
yeah.
right? Like these international tournaments where it used to be, Canada, US kind of dominating, Russia as well. Like you look at this year at the World Juniors, like Czech is great, Slovakia had a good tournament. Like these other teams these smaller countries, because everybody has the access to the tools to develop now because of the internet and how many people are getting into the development space, it's growing and the game's growing, which is a great thing.
There's so many things I want to talk about right now, but I'm going to dial it down to one.
Love it.
So What I've learned too about the hockey community is there's like since there's so many that didn't make the NHL, there's so many in different industries and so many connections that you have with different people in so many different places. Like at the end of the day, if you wanted to go be 30 different things, if you wanted to be a firefighter, if you wanted to be a financial advisor, if you want to be all these things, I'm sure there's someone you know from the hockey world or they know someone who works in those spaces that could be a good way in.
Totally. Yeah, and it is the connections, but I think the biggest reason for it is because of what life lessons the game teaches you. You got to be able as a young kid to walk into a dressing room full of a bunch of kids you don't know and make friends. So you need to learn to be social. You learn work ethic and time management and respect and all these different things that employers want in every industry, and it's very applicable to whatever job you're doing, whatever career you want to do. And then yeah, like you said, like you have these connections because you played in so many different places and met so many different people who, yeah, once they finish their careers, go on to different things. And that's why it's important, you know, to never really let your guard down when you're playing. Like you never know the guy that's sitting beside you in the dressing room when you're 17, like who knows what he becomes and what he's doing. All these opportunities to make these connections and lifelong friends. Again, another beautiful thing about our sport.
So something I wanted to talk about isn't necessarily in like the business space, but you're going into coaching, and like you've been coaching, but down the road, that's something you really want to explore as well more heavily. I want to talk about bullying and kind of how you would combat that. Like I know it's kind of really off topic for this podcast, but it's something that's so prevalent in the hockey world, and I think it should be talked about like how you would navigate something like that.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're working with kids, those issues happen.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to say that it's never going to happen,
Yeah.
but it is. I think number one, anytime you're working with a group or working with a team, you as the coach need to create the environment, and you need to set the expectations and let them know the consequences for these things. I think like by consequences too, you can frame it in more of like a life context where it's like, listen, if you want to be that guy that's picking on their buddies or whatever it is, like here's what lies ahead for you down the road, and it's not good.
Yeah.
So let's nip that in the butt now. Let's create an environment that's positive where, we're bringing kids together. You don't want to have an environment where everyone's getting mad at each other, whether you're 10 years old or you're 30 years old. So, I mean, when those incidents happen, like we have, policies on bullying and harassment and those kinds of things. And, we deal with that accordingly. We have a zero tolerance policy for any of that stuff. And if someone's doing that at one of our programs, unfortunately for them, they just have to go home because, we're not there. We don't put up with that. There's definitely conversations to help guide them. And, that's not like they're banned from our programs forever. But for that program, they'll go home and we try to teach them a life lesson. Like, listen, you did this. Here's how we should approach these situations going forward. And if you can handle that, you're welcome to come back. So
I know you guys have had to deal with that before. I've been there. How do parents react? Are they usually like, "Oh my gosh, my child, I'm like so sorry," or are they, "My child would never do that"?
Uh, it depends on the parent.
Yeah.
Some parents definitely are a little bit more understanding, I would say.
Yeah.
Some can appreciate where we're coming from and are definitely pretty frustrated with their kids, and we let them handle that as parents. As our job isn't to tell parents how to parent their kids,
100%.
but yeah, you get some parents that get pretty defensive, and at the end of the day, that's why we have our policies. And if they don't agree with it, then yeah, it's too bad.
So speaking of parents, I mean, we're both you're older than me. I'm 23 or 24. We're both gonna be one plus that this year. But still, yeah,
Yeah.
math. But I mean, something I have to deal with sometimes too, and whether that's just in my head or if it's actually something that's legit a thing, is being taken seriously at our age and dealing with other people who are older than us who might not look down on us or think, oh, they don't have enough experience, this, and that. Do you think that parents take you? I know they take you seriously. Like, I already know the answer to this, but how do you feel internally and how do you not like gain that respect from parents as well?
Yeah, I think number one, you got to know what you're doing. So in my position, I'm training these kids on the ice and helping out with their development. So if you want to be taken seriously, you got to do a good job and know what you're talking about. So that's number one. If I don't know that, then yeah, they're not going to respect me.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, too, we're working with kids. We need to be good role models and good people. And that's always something that's at the top of my mind is these kids see my actions and whatever I do, they're going to think is okay. So, if you're a good person, you treat people the right way, you have a positive attitude. I think parents respect that a lot. And in business, you're working with customers and clients and, there's going to be things that you don't see eye to eye with. I think at the end of the day, as long as you treat them with respect, you have to be firm in your positioning at times. And I think people respect that as long as you do it in, a friendly manner. Treating people the way that you'd want to be treated. It goes back to what we learned in kindergarten. So, yeah, I think I don't know if it's an exact science to getting people's respect. At the end of the day, I just stick to my values. I think I've said at the end of the day 6 times in this monologue. Maybe cut that. But no, I think it's you stick to your values. I believe in what I believe in, and that's treating people, with respect in hopes that I receive that in turn.
I think it's really cute too that some of the kids idolize you. And I think personally, this might be, I can't even think of the word.
Biased?
Yes. This might be biased, but I think you're a tremendous role model. And I think your captaincy also speaks to who you are and your leadership position and the things that you can handle. But on that note, what's it like being a captain? What's the extra role that you have to take on? Like, what else? What's extra than just being on the team?
Well, just to go back quickly on that,
Please do.
like I want to the leadership qualities and we talk about being a good role model. Those are all things that I learned from having good role models. So that's where I know the importance in that. And number one that comes to mind was my brother Ben. No, but it's true. I mean, he was always a captain on his team, and when you're a younger brother, you just look up to your older brother, and I just kind of did as he did. And I think naturally a lot of those things got ingrained in me, and I, had some other great coaches that taught me a lot of valuable lessons. As a captain, there's extra, I don't even want to call it pressure, but it's an extra emphasis to be doing the right things all the time. And you're not doing it because someone's watching. You're not doing it for your coach. You're not doing it for your parents. You're doing that because if you do it, the other guys will follow, right? And naturally, you get pushed into those leadership positions if you do the right things. As you get older and you're going through hockey and your teammates are going through challenging times, as a captain, you want to be there for those guys. You need to have those connections with your teammates. We talk about respect. You need to respect your teammates, and they need to respect you if you're truly going to be a good captain. And I think a big way that you can do that is by going out of your way when you see a guy struggling or being that positive voice. And there's a time and a place where, sometimes I got to give it to my teammates a little bit and harp on them but we have this saying that iron sharpens iron. And so it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but as long as it's a positive environment and you guys are all working towards something and you're doing all the things that if the collective group does, you guys will be in a good spot. Then, yeah, you're likely going to find yourself in some leadership positions.
Since you've become friends with, I'd say, all your teammates, do you find it hard to, it's not, I don't wouldn't say discipline, but like talk to them about certain things? Like, do you find that's a little bit awkward, or do they all, you have that mutual respect and you understand that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that's going to happen right away.
Yeah.
Like when we come in September, um, a guy that just joined the team for his first year isn't going to open up to you about his life. I think it takes time to develop those relationships, and you have to spend time with each other, and you truly have to care about each other. Um, if you want to be on a successful team, you need to have deeper relationships in the hockey setting than just being friends at the rink and showing up to practice and games, and that's the only time you see each other.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of success um, over the last 2 years since I've been here as a team because we do spend so much time together and we are a family. Um, so as you build those relationships, those conversations just kind of happen naturally. Whether it's you reaching out to a guy to see if he's okay, or sometimes when you need an ear, knowing that that guy is going to be there to listen to you. Um, it's not something that can be forced, but I think just over time, spending time together, learning about each other's lives outside of hockey, those relationships just kind of happen naturally.
But having those relationships, do you find it hard to say, like, listen, you got to smarten up? Like,
No, I think it makes it easier.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's easier, when because you know how much you care about that guy, and that guy knows how much you care about him. Um, it's coming from the best intentions. Where if you sort of have to reel a guy in as a leader, but you don't have that relationship yet, you're in the back of your head, you're worried like, oh, he's gonna hate me now, or it's a little bit more awkward. Where if you have those deep relationships and you are a family, like families fight and you get over it, right? But there's times where it's yeah, you gotta hold each other accountable if you want any kind of success.
And there's little to no pushback on that. They're pretty receptive to what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fine if a guy pushes back.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll fight it out, but we'll get through it.
Yeah.
And I think the goal is that anytime you have those conversations, and mind you, like I don't have to do that a lot with our
Yeah.
team. We have a really good group of guys, and everyone is pretty well on the same page. Um, but yeah, you go back and forth, and you hash it out, and you hope that by the time you're done, you're both, you know, eyes are open, and we're back to working towards the same goal.
So I, for one, know how busy you are. And I mean, yesterday you had to drive back to Waterloo for a skate from Toronto and then drive back home to Toronto, sleep, go to practice, and then you came here, which we're so thankful for. And then you have other things going on in the week. You have a game on Thursday, you have a game on Saturday, like all these things, you're so busy. Do you find it hard, like the driving back and forth between Waterloo and Toronto?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I just get tired when I drive a little bit. I don't know. The 401 just makes me a bit sleepy, so like maybe
Michelle's not
that.
gonna like hearing that.
I got lots of coffee, Mom. Don't worry. Um, but at the same time, it's kind of nice because I can't be on my laptop.
Yeah.
I can't be somewhere other than in that car. So it sort of actually gives me a little bit of time to just like think, which has been nice. Which I didn't even consider that when we took on the Waterloo player development contract, and I knew I'd be going back and forth a little bit. I was like, yeah, the driving's gonna suck, but it's actually been okay because it carves out a time where I can just be by myself and get my thoughts organized, and I don't have a million things going on. So yeah, I mean, it's taxing a little bit on your body,
Yeah.
like going right from practice and getting in the car or whatever it may be. But overall, I would say it's actually been all right.
Well, you have that time alone until I call you, your mom calls you, your dad, and
Yeah.
then we all take turns
Yeah,
on the
a
phone.
lot of these drives actually do turn into that, where it's just like seven different phone calls, and then all of a sudden I'm at my condo again,
But then it
back from
goes way
Waterloo.
quicker.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I find that too. I mean, I drive back and forth for you all the time. Not for you, but to come see you and all those things.
Yeah.
So, my eyes are still watering from your Ben comment. Sorry.
Just
Um,
cry it out.
yeah, no, I can't. I
Oh
have two
yeah,
guests
yeah,
after
yeah. You got
this.
two more guests. You can't be ruining the makeup.
No, but I know since being a business owner, I've had to take a couple more phone calls.
Mhm.
And like, I mean, I saw my dad growing up my whole life, and he's nonstop on the phone. And
Yeah,
it's even nice too, because when you're busy working on your computer all day, you don't have that time to call necessarily, but then you can
totally.
carve out that time while you're driving.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point too. And reflecting on it now, like I definitely do that a lot. There's lots of people that I wish I called more throughout the week, and would love to chat with. And yeah, when you get those, hour and a half, 2 hour car drives, it gives you a chance to give those people a shout and just reconnect because life is busy, man. And it seems like so simple to just give a quick phone call, but when you're so busy doing all these things and you finally have a little bit of alone time at home, it's like you just kind of want to kick back and be by yourself. So it's, yeah, it's nice actually.
So apparently, I really want to cry on this episode because I have another, like, again, thinking about
A
it, eyes
tearjerker?
already watering. It's not even, it's just for me because I'm emotional. But I want to talk about your support system because
So you want to talk about you?
no, I want to talk about your family.
Yes.
I want to talk about your mom, your dad, your brother, and your sisters,
Yeah.
and everyone a part of your life. Your nanny, grandpa guy, everyone. I feel um, that you've had such an incredible support system,
Mhm.
especially with hockey. And, your dad has barely ever missed a game unless there's extenuating circumstances.
Totally.
Wherever that game is, he makes it there. And I think that's so special. And not just credit your mom. Your mom obviously is at all the games she can attend and has been such an emotional support. Everyone, I just feel like, and again, I know everyone, has their stuff. I'm not saying everything's perfect and your life is all rainbows and sunshine and all that stuff, but I think you are very lucky, and I know you feel lucky as well.
Yeah.
But what kind of impact has that support had on your life, you think, and your hockey career?
Uh, yeah, no, it's been huge. I think it's another neat thing about coming to the end of my playing career, and reflecting a little bit more. Um, you know, all the sacrifices, like you talk about them as you're going through it, but you don't truly appreciate it until I think you get to this stage and looking back, and it's like, man, like from minor hockey, my parents, the financial sacrifices they made, and my sisters, the sacrifices that they made because we were gone at tournaments and couldn't go on these vacations, and we're always just like so supportive is so it's so amazing because not everybody's gonna be like that. My brother was always there coaching me and giving me tips and always making sure that I was at the best I could possibly be. And then you go into junior hockey, and my dad's driving from Waterloo to Windsor twice a week. I mean, I think he ended up going to every OHL rink, maybe minus no, actually, I think he even got up to Sault Ste. Marie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So yeah, him driving all over the province to watch me play, um, and knowing that I didn't have a lot of time, it might be a 5 minute chat after the game, and that's all we could do.
Well,
But
you
he
only
was
take 30 minutes to get dressed.
could have got out of the dressing room a little quicker. That's my bad. But yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't know if I could have done it without having that support system. And, um, you know, there's some players that go through and it's just them. And knowing that after every game I played, they're either there or I'm getting a phone call or a text, whether it's my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister's checking in.
Nanny too.
Oh, sorry. Absolutely. Nanny and Grandpa Guy. Everybody just always pulling for me my whole career has been so amazing, and I can't thank them enough at this stage for all the support they gave me.
Well, we all love you so much.
And you too, and you
No, no,
too.
I don't mean we
No, but
love
it
you. Just
is
saying we
true.
all love you.
No, it is true. You drive up from London for my games, and I know how busy your schedule is, and Driving to Toronto sucks. And
I
you
get my
know,
alone time.
yeah, you get your alone time, but no, all those things they make the experience so much greater. And yeah, just I think without that, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy, these last 20 years of playing as much as I have.
That's insane. 20 years.
Yep.
I've never been good enough at something to play for longer than like three. So, anyways, I think for sake of time, we'll kind of head into the special segment. But before that, I like to open the floor. I don't know if you've watched any of our episodes, Christopher.
No, I have.
But we like to open the floor to see if there's anything that I didn't touch on that you think would be important for people listening to hear.
Oh,
No pressure.
I talk too much. I don't know.
No.
There's a lot of, well, first of all, I'd like to say that for you as well, I've been able to be by your side this whole time, growing your business and now with the podcast and managing both those things at the same time, been able to pull a lot of inspiration from you on those days that we talk about where it is super busy and, it seems like too much, and always, seeing you just head down going to work and where you've gotten to has been super inspiring for me.
So you want me to cry?
Yeah. No, yeah, no, but it's true. And we talk about having support systems, and you need an A team around you, and I've been fortunate to have that and to have you, and yeah, I think it's cool that we're both working towards similar things right now. It's awesome.
Well, I love you.
Love you too.
Okay. Before we start the special segment, I would like to give a shout out to Nate Allenson
Oh yeah.
for fact checking
Coach Nate.
these. Coach Nate for fact checking these. He said some of them were a little wild, so
Oh boy.
just get ready. So what we're gonna do is for this special segment is I've compiled. Well, ChatGPT has put together some hockey slang phrases, and I would like you to translate them to English
boy.
for us.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard a hockey guy. I'm not sure if the hockey girls talk the same way as you guys or not,
Not
but
sure either.
the hockey guys,
The hockey guys,
it's a
we
different
got our own
language.
language.
It's literally a different language. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, ready? If you can't understand it, just let me know.
Okay.
Buddy went bar down on a bender to tie it up with 30 ticks left, and the boys were buzzing.
So that means a hockey player, came in and he shot the puck and it went off the crossbar down into the net,
Okay.
which in hockey is typically like a nice shot. On a bender means that the defenseman that he was coming in on, or the player who's coming in on, their ankles kind of cave in.
No.
It's not really what you want to be. You don't want to be a bender.
Okay.
What was the next part?
Went bar down on a bender to tie it up with 30
30
ticks.
ticks.
Yeah.
30 seconds left in the game. And the boys were buzzing just means the boys were ecstatic. They were fired up, and 30 seconds left, tie it up. I mean, yeah, the boys would be buzzing.
This next one's crazy. I got chirped hard after fluffing a muffin from the point, but it's wheel snipe Selly tonight, boys.
Oh my. I got chirped hard. So that means for fluffing a muffin. Okay, so that means from the point means from the blue line. So typically a defenseman took a shot.
Okay.
It was a weak shot,
Yeah.
so he fluffed it. Also, a muffin means like weak shot, so he
Yeah.
fluffed a muffin. What was the next part?
But it's wheel snipe Selly tonight.
It's wheel snipe Sally tonight. Just means it's party on tonight. Who cares? We're gonna get after it.
All right, I'll use that in our normal conversation.
Yeah.
Forward.
Wheel snipe Sally.
Okay. He's a total plug, but he's got the best flow on the team, so we keep him around.
You described my junior career? Means he's not the best player. He's a plug. Maybe not even the best guy.
No.
Sometimes plug could be like, yeah, he's a plug. He's just not the best guy ever. But typically, a pretty, lower end player. But he's got the best hair on the team. So
Oh, that's why I keep him around.
you keep that guy around.
Because plug in normal English language is sometimes a positive thing. Like he's a plug. Like
No, not in hockey.
no, apparently not. All right.
Basically, whatever it is in the normal world.
Opposite.
Opposite.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Nasty, dirty. Those are good.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, we were in the dirty areas all game, but the tendy was standing on his head.
So the dirty areas, that would be considered like the crease.
Okay.
So right in front of the net, the blue paint in there, those are the dirty areas. Those are where the goals are scored.
Okay.
But the tendy was standing on his head, which means the goaltender was just playing unbelievable. They couldn't score on him. He saved the team. He stood on his head.
Okay, we have one more. And it's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
Chappie was taking his rookie lap in warmies and took a clap bomb bar Mexico, then slipped on a biscuit and ate ice so his rocket in the stands dipped.
Okay, we're gonna have to break this one down.
Okay.
So Chappie
Yep.
is the guy. That's not a hockey term.
Okay,
That
that's just
yeah.
Chappie.
They
Okay.
gave you a guy. So Chappie, what was it?
Was taking his rookie lap in warmies.
So when you play your first game in like junior or like the NHL or whatever team, they send you out for a solo lap and warm up. Usually the whole team would come out, but you got to go do one by yourself. I think it was supposed to be like an embarrassing thing, but it's also like kind of cool, like
Yeah.
when you do it as a rookie. He slipped on a biscuit.
No.
Oh,
He took a clap bomb bar Mexico.
so a clap bomb is a slap shot that again went off the crossbar and down into the net. So bar Mexico,
Yeah.
crossbar into the net.
So that's the same bar down and bar
Bar
Mexico.
Mexico.
The same thing?
Yeah. Because down, like, Mexico is south of Canada. That's,
Well, that makes sense, I
yeah,
guess.
far south, you could say, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then slipped on a biscuit
Stepped on a pocket, fell.
and ate ice.
Went face first into the ice, ate it.
So his rocket in the stands dipped.
So his rocket in the stands did. So, yeah, his girlfriend, who I guess is good looking,
Does it have to be his girlfriend?
if it says his rocket, I assume that's his girlfriend or his girl that he's talking to.
Okay.
She left because she said that was far too embarrassing for me to be associated with, and she's out of there.
She was out of there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for playing.
Those are actually pretty good.
Um,
Yeah, those were good.
okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
What a pleasure. Was waiting for my my time to come.
Well, maybe you can come annually in Valentine's Day around there.
Hey, I'm sure we have lots more to talk about.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
was scared this was going to be awkward, but
No,
not awkward. I thought I was going to be awkward, but
no, this was good.
Done.
This was nice.
yeah. My mascara's running, so I'll have to fix that a little bit. But
No, you're good.
thank you. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
See you next year.
Next year, another Valentine's Day.
Thank you for listening, and until the next guest, we'll see you later. Bye.